I'm live. Hello, everyone. Good morning and good evening if you're on my side of the world. I would assume if you're in Australia somewhere, I think it's like the middle of the night, maybe there. So, good night to you all. So, wow, these past few days have been quite intensely beautiful. And I'm finding that I'm noticing a very, it feels subtle, but it also feels rather palpable, a subtle shift into um, intensity in heart expansion and growth from expansion rather than growth from descending like kind of how I feel like we were all having to purge, go and descend quite a bit. I'm finding that more of the big days of growth now are coming from expanding into those higher realms where kind of we're existing and we're visiting with our higher self, our higher, our higher teams, and we're visiting because we are assembling those soul realities, those 5D realities. So I know when I spend time in those moments of silence where I visit into the like that realm, that when I finally come back down into my body, yes, I've risen up in physical resonance, but I'm still coming back down and finding that it's exhausting and at the same time it's exciting. There's just a different process, I feel like, that's playing out with these energies than was before. And that will differ for all of us. I'm being reminded to make sure that we make that, everybody's going to experience these energies very differently based on where you are in your healing journey. So if there's still a lot of densities, if there's still a lot of that within your energetic field, these very, very high like scalar waves. We've had 4 solar flares in the last 24 hours. So we are being pummeled, and those will have great effects. And if you have a lot of densities, you're still going to be in the process of descending into those older timelines to kind of purge out some of the old paradigms, the old operating systems. And then as your healing continues to take place, you're going to move up into the experience of your growth coming from these interdimensional visits that you do into that higher reality. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that higher reality. And really, we have intentionalized that in these 90 days, this 90-day experiment or experience, we are intentionalizing that higher reality, that 5D soul reality, to be fully on that timeline at the end of these 90 days, at the very least, or at the very least, kind of sniffing it out. Or making progress towards it. I don't know where we're going to be at the end of these 90 days, but I do know that there was quite the urgency of message for us to tune in to the higher reality of where we would see ourselves, where we would write ourselves in that 5D reality in these next 90 days. When we tune into that, the urgency of that is that this collective is tuning in only to light, into higher realities, higher consciousness, for 90 whole days. And the experiment is, what is that experience for all of us, and how does that pull in more and more of these withdrawals from our storehouse? So if you're a little bit confused with what we're doing here, you can go back to day 1, which was 2 weeks ago. We're starting our 3rd week of this 12-week experiment. So some interesting things have been shared in these messages, and some interesting things have also transpired in all of our our experiences that I've gotten a beautiful opportunity to reach into some of your all's experiences. I'm finding that we are seeing that the needle is moving. We're finding these differences coming out. We're finding that these energies of these 2 weeks of this 90-day experiment have already started to make movement in our awareness. And I know that simply from conversations that I've had with the on the Ascension Bank weekly calls, as well as we had a crazy good call on the incubator call on Saturday. And that intimate circle really broke down a lot of things that they're going through. And what, at the end of the day, what we find is we're all kind of moving in some direction. We're not sure where we're going, but we feel some kind of movement. And that's exciting. And it's also a little nerve-wracking. So I want to continue with where this experience is going at this point. Okay. Oops, I just knocked my little my little stand. But first of all, I want to give you a little bit of an update on the plot twist that I received last week, because that then took another plot twist, kind of, and that plot twist and the update on this job that I was presented with last week will also give you a little bit of insight on the message and how it came through today. So I mentioned last week that the plot twist had shown up. Now, the plot twist is the piece that's going to kind of direct us over to that soul reality that we'll start moving into, that towards that soul timeline. And depending, you might even be on your soul timeline. So you're just keeping the peace at this point. For some of us who are, are still working our way towards it, we will know when we are getting closer and closer based on the amount of peace that we feel in our given days. I feel like I think I'm on mine. I feel peace more often than I ever have before. So this plot twist is showing up in order just to be the trigger that kind of bumps us over onto the soul timeline. So this plot twist might be rather large for some of you. If you're kind of far off the resonance of your soul timeline, and some of you it'll be a subtle little, one little decision, and you'll be there. So it might be extremely subtle, but you will know that you're already on your soul path because you'll feel peace more often. So that job opportunity that came last week was an opportunity to, and I can reveal it now because I've declined it, but it was one of the coolest jobs ever that I have dreamed about something like this. Like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I had this kind of job? And there was a lot in this job that was so intriguing to me. And what it was to work as an undercover investigative reporter for a rather large independent news organization. And the job was to go under alias into different organizations to uncover corruption and uncover all the yucky stuff, really, so that people could make a better choice in their organizations. And at first, I thought it was the coolest thing because I could go, an alias, and be like basically being a spy. That would be the coolest thing, and all the movies I've seen, and it sounds really great. Um, and then, but there was something that was just not resonating. But yet, my ego was like, "When have you ever been offered anything like this?" And based on some of my social media, this news organization was turned on to some of my viewpoints, and questioning a lot of our organizations and corporations at this time, and knew that I had a vested interest in wanting to reveal or expose corruption. So doing some kind of change like that was very intriguing to me. However, always having my eyesights on corruption was not very intriguing to me. And the other thing is that I've lived my entire life wanting to be fully me. So the idea of first impression, the idea of having an alias was kind of fun, and what kind of alias would I make up for myself, and what would I have to be in order to go into different organizations as undercover. But at the end of the day, If I were to be fully truthful to my own being, I want to be fully me. I didn't want to be another alias, even for a job, even for something kind of cool. And I also would have to keep up, a large portion of what I was doing secret from my husband. I don't have secrets. I don't want to have secrets. So the more I thought about it, the more I was struggling with going through the first step of the 7 step process that I mentioned on here. And I was noticing how much of a struggle I was, a challenge I was having at doing that first step. So I knew something was there. And on our incubator call, I shared this job on our incubator call with what I'm calling my team because these beautiful souls have come together to grow immensely in these 90 days, and so did I. So they are now, they're my wing men and women and beings. They're my wing beings, and they're my team. So I was honestly I was honest, and I shared this opportunity. And as I spoke with them about it, I heard from each and every one of them that you're meant to be doing this, and aren't we coming together every week on this daily tune in as a community to expose more light? Because at the end of the day, what I got to on our call, on the incubator call, was I want to be exposing the light. I want to be exposing the beauty of this world. I want to be exposing this 5D world that exists, that people don't know exists. And that's what we're doing here. We are continuing to build our consciousnesses and expand our consciousnesses together to expose more and more of our own wisdom, piecing this together in this process that no other human has ever been through. No one's walking us through it, but we are walking through it together, exposing more and more of this pathway, so that eventually we can then light the way for others. That, to me, is like, in that moment of being on our incubator call, that to me was what was like the shining moment of, wait a minute, we are exposing something here, but it's the opposite expression of exposing corruption, and that world is falling away. So that became what I really had to get to, and I declined the opportunity for the job, knowing and trusting that there is a plot twist, or there is something else coming in these 90 days, or I'm working towards something that is going to take me to something even cooler, even more fun and adventurous than an undercover investigative journalist position. So I share that simply to have practical nuggets of knowledge of how this stuff is working in physical life, because now we are looking for evidence of this journey in our physical lives, the journey from the 3D, from the 4D into the fifth dimensional reality of in physical reality. Okay, so here's the message for today. And remember some of the story that I just told you, so that, actually, I want to read it from here so that I could so you'll understand parts of this message. And I typed it up because I was finding I was having a hard time sometimes reading my own writing, because I write it so fast, and half the time with not enough not enough light, which is quite funny. So here's the message. Okay, if you just allow yourself to, if you can, if you're in a position to just close your eyes and just take this message in. Okay, take it in. Closing your eyes will just cut out any distractions behind me or around me. And the message is, here's the transmission. Dear one, as you continue to rise quickly in this 90-day portal, you will notice that your willingness to tune into the atrocities of the world is dwindling. That world is losing your interest as your soul reality beckons you forth. That is why you could not fully embrace the job offer that was presented to you to fulfill your soul contract. As you continue to tune into, also remember, tuning into means remembering your 5D reality, you rise out of resonance with the lower realms of the 3D world. You move completely out of the consciousness of war, bioweapons, genocide, treason, crimes against humanity. Those are all done in your reality. You know that dark world is ending. Therefore, there is no more reason to tune into it anymore. It's no longer yours. Once you surrendered the coordinates of your plot twist reality into space time, you started to notice how quickly you are bringing intentions into reality. As they present themselves, you will sharpen your skill sets of discernment and truth on what frequency that manifestation came in on. Anything coming in lower, in a lower frequency than your soul reality, is not the way to the soul reality. As you remember more and more of your 5D reality, you remember that frequency within. Therefore, anything that presents itself in your current reality as part of the plot twist into your 5D reality that doesn't match that frequency is not aligned with truth. There is no need to proceed in opening timelines that are not aligned with your soul path. It is not the soul timeline if it does not resonate, even on a small level. Just as you watch a trailer or preview before committing to a Netflix series, this offer to work for this news organization was a preview or a trailer for the timeline that would have unfolded for you. This job or this mission offered to you would have you tuning into the atrocities of the world and playing a role that was not you. Therefore, it wasn't for you. Those two parts did not resonate with your truthful soul reality. Therefore, the job was not aligned, even though it looked adventurous and dramatic. Your team even confirmed the dissonance and you released the option. Now you surrender. Get intimate with that 5D soul reality frequency. Tune into it as often as possible. Be in that world as often as you can. Look for that world in your now reality. Document it. Leave a breadcrumb of the existence of this reality. Post it on social media with hashtag open the storehouse. That's the breadcrumb you leave for others to show them that the 5D reality exists. You will then inspire yourself to stay in that world of higher frequencies, leave breadcrumbs for others to see that there is a peaceful reality available for them now. Please, sweet soul, release the lower realms of dissonance in that world of wars. Commit to embracing only the frequencies of that higher realm of consciousness in a world at peace. Peace brings opportunity, and opportunity transports you into your soul reality. When opportunities arise, synchronicities show up, mysterious people greet you. Whenever something interesting shows up in your reality, notice what parts of it bring you peace and joy. Notice what parts of it disturb your peace. Which one will win out? Which do you decide to commit to? Because either way, you're committing to opening a new timeline, one of peace or one that shows a disturbance of peace. Ease and flow align with the timeline most in resonance with your 5D soul reality. This is your home timeline, the timeline created in peace by you, and you signed a contract to fulfill it. Get intimate with that resonance now so you can always be on your home timeline. Matching that home timeline is your job right now. That job is to expose the miracles, light, and peace of your world. That is it. As you express that now, every time you express that now, you ping a withdrawal from your karmic storehouse. You'll receive opportunities to bring more peace and flow, and that will continue. Follow the peace from here on out. That is your mission calling you right now. Okay. So there's some cool things in here because not because there's some really great things to tune into. And a couple of them is the fact that there's going to be some options. I'm getting the idea, getting the message that we will be getting options of our 5D reality. So like things will come up and be like, how is this? Does this look good? Does this look, we'll be getting a trailer. And what I mean by that is like you might get new ideas that start to come into your mind, new remembrances. These remembrances are lighting up the old, not old, but hidden information within you that holds information about your soul reality, about your soul contract. And that contract not only was to go through and have these lessons to get you to the point where you're on your soul pathway. But the contract is also, how are you being paid in peace and joy and all of the ways of living in this 5D reality. So all of these ways that you are getting paid, which is through an energetic exchange. You bring your consciousness to that 5D reality, and that reality then pays you in an expansion of experience, in some an abundance of experience. So your contract is, you're ready to start to get paid for that contract. You have finished many of the parts of the contract that then put you into the job, into the mission. And the mission is coming down now to where we are all realizing it is the pathway to peace. It's the pathway of least resistance. And that really is the pathway of no resistance, because when we are in a place of peace, there is nothing to resist. There is nothing, whether things are perfect in our world or not. Whatever is not perfect, we are at peace with it. So the path of least resistance is where we just step on and release all of the hows, all of the worry, all of the stress, and just walk in peace. And as we walk in peace, we leave breadcrumbs of, oh my gosh, this was my storehouse. This is how I got paid today. Wow, look how I got paid today. I received a check in the mail. Oh wow, look how I got paid. Look at this sunset. And if you go to Instagram and go to the hashtag open the storehouse, it's starting to build into a really, really beautiful conglomeration of um, co-creation. It's not it's a co-creation of everybody's 5D reality starting to unfold. And the more we keep looking for how we get paid from that karmic storehouse, means the closer we are to that 5D reality, and we're pulling it out, and then we're sharing it. And soon enough, this hashtag open the storehouse, when somebody comes and says, the world's going to hell, you're like, no, 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 go to hashtag open the storehouse and look at all of these pictures. They may mean nothing to you, but all of them are coded with the most amazing codes of prosperity and abundance and beauty and gratitude. Because if they are on that hashtag, it means that is the coding of that hashtag. Therefore, there are many, many beautiful moments going on in the world, and we start turning people's attention to the light, and we start exposing people to the light in our own world, on social media world, and we start creating a new algorithm of focusing people, turning them to the light, exposing the light. So this job that I thought was really cool because I could expose the darkness, and until it didn't, I was like, "Ooh, like too much of that all day long, that would just not at all be my desire." But exposing the light every single day, and exposing the beautiful souls and the beautiful moments that are happening in our world, that sounds like a pretty good job. And oh, wait a minute, I'm already doing that. Oh, wait, I am on my soul timeline. Oh, wait, I don't have to go and be an alias and do something that I'm not. And thank you, but no thank you. I'm going to continue to be me, and to be with this community, and to be making a change in our own way. So thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for being part of my job. And thanks for being part of all of the workers here on this, the light workers that are here to do the job of bringing the light, showing the light, exposing the light, being the light, and being our true selves. That's one of the hardest jobs in this world at the moment. And yet we are holding the light pretty well. And I do believe that we are making changes, because as the incubator team said the other day, they're like, isn't it funny that you're bringing the light, our community is bringing the light, and these opportunities to come back and like pull our focus towards the corruption, towards the darker end of things. Isn't that funny that that's what showed up? And so we are holding the light strongly, because we are attracting, those shiny things that really want to expose and turn our attention to the darker aspects of life. So pay attention to that, because sometimes it can be as subtle and tricky, where I'm like, whoa, it looks like something kind of cool, but it's really ultimately trying to turn your attention to something, to the less expressed version of it, rather than the light side of it, the lighter version of it. So pay attention how things are showing up. This is where the fine tuning the skill set of discernment, of taking a breath before having to choose anything at this moment, taking a breath and saying, hold on a second. Where is my attention going here? Where is my feelings? Where is my energy going? Is it going into a higher expression at the moment? Am I excited about this? If there's any part of it that's a no, then you have your choice. But any part of that is a no, this is when you choose it, because that is the subtle difference between opening up a new timeline and staying on the timeline that is your soul timeline. Discernment is key in this moment. Okay. So, hello everyone. Just everyone saying good morning. Thanks everyone for being here. Lisa, Jessica, Christine, thank you. Tara, you're absolutely glowing right now. Thanks. It's been cold and rainy, so but you know why I think I'm glowing? I went and I got a new jacket for myself because I was so tired oh my gosh, I think for 8 months I've been wearing that gray jacket from Ukraine to here, and when it's cold, like every picture I have of us outside is in that gray jacket. So I finally found a cool little jacket. So I think I'm just stoked to have something new and colorful in my world at the moment. But thanks, Tara. I appreciate that. I'll take that. Lisa, good morning. Jeannie, yeah, Carol, thank you so much. You all, the incubator team, you all, like I felt I was on fire yesterday. I was just walking on air because I felt so free after getting off of our call. And I denied the job and I was just like, oh my gosh, there's something even better than that. Okay. There was no fear or anything. So that conversation was quite powerful. And I think we all felt it. So thank you all for being on that. And if you are wanting to join the Ascension Bank, our calls are every Wednesday, and we're really doing a lot of good work together as a community and taking these conversations even deeper. So I invite you to come over to the Ascension Bank, join our community, and I so look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thanks for liking my new jacket. I love it too. I will see you all tomorrow. So just practice discernment. If any part of it makes you go, then it's not it. We are looking for 100% commitment to being in peace and joy with any decision that you make. Anything, whether it's what's for dinner or what job am I going to get, or is this relationship for me? No matter how small, pay attention to every aspect of your decision making process in this moment, so that you are paying attention to whether or not you're answering the call of your 5D timeline. Okay. So much love to you all. Answer the peace call. Mwah. Me too. I'm going to answer my peace call. And I have a storehouse story. I want to share this really quickly. Our friend who lives downstairs from us, we became friends with him. He's a professional spear fisherman. I talk about him a lot because he keeps coming to our door with fish. He came to the door yesterday with this massive tuna, and he sashimied it up. So we had some last night. Then he made dinner for 8 people with this fish, and he still has some left over, and we're all cooking it up here in our building. We're doing a communal dinner, and Bud and I got some stuff on the stove over there. But it's like in my mind, I'm like, this is 5D living, like communal dinners. And it's like the loaves and fishes thing. Like he came with this tuna. I was like, whoa, that's a pretty cool big tuna. But I could not believe how many people it's feeding and how many multiple meals it has fed people. It's like it's the coolest thing. I had a storehouse moment when we all decided to have a communal dinner, because having a crowded table is one of my biggest dreams. Just having people crowded around a table, around a good meal, some glasses of wine, some hearty laughter. And I already see that showing up in my own world. And right now it's just Bud, me, and our friend Patrick. But I look forward to having a big table with lots of fish and lots of bread and all of you around to share a beautiful meal and good conversation and good community. So I wanted to share that. Thank you for letting me share. So much love to you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Have a good one. Okay.